Hello, and thank you for joining this session of Embarcadero's CodeRage about the Delphi Parser-Automatic migration tool. In this session, we will show you how the Delphi Parser-Automatic migration tools can easily analyze your code on any given Delphi version and quickly migrate your legacy code to compile and run using the latest Delphi 10.2 Tokyo and make your legacy Delphi code a legend once again. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Oren Aviram. I am the founder and lead developer of the Delphi Parser at Pacific Technologies. I am a Delphi expert, a local guru, and a big fan. I am recognized as an Embarcadero Delphi MVP, focusing on software modernization of legacy systems. I've been developing in Delphi since 1996. I was first introduced to Pascal back in 1988 at the age of 13. Actually, I've been programming since I was 8 years old, starting with BASIC on Apple computer before the dawn of DOS and Microsoft. When I first met Turbo Pascal, I fell in love with this language. You can say it was love at first sight. Since then, for the past 30 years, I've been developing software for a variety of companies and organizations, big and small, for commercial companies, governmental institutions, telecom, retail, finance, defense forces, cybersecurity, gaming, and many others. I have skills in a lot of other programming language, but my first and favorite choice is always been and always will be Delphi. For my opinion, Delphi is the best programming language and IDE ever made. We will start by showing the Delphi Parser key features, following by an overview on migrating legacy systems. Continue with planning your own automatic modernization project with a real-life industry case study, and finish with a live Q&A session. Our goal is migrating the Borland Delphi legacy code directly to Embarcadero's Delphi 10.2 Tokyo. We need to bridge the gap of a legacy technology to future technology almost 20 years ahead of time and make it run in the latest Embarcadero's Delphi 10.2 Tokyo like it was written yesterday. A lot of effort was made in order to develop the current edition of the Delphi Parser automatic migration tool in order to produce this automatic procedure. And around 2015 I was introduced to Jimmy Keith, and together we joined forces with Embarcadero to the better of the industry and Delphi developers, providing a solution that is a unique solution currently offered to developers all around the world. The Delphi Parser Automatic Migration Tool is a software utility robot specializing in code refactoring. It is designed to modernize legacy Borland Delphi and C++ builder software systems. It is aimed to migrate database-oriented legacy systems built with Borland Database Engine, the BDE, to FireDuck, as well as migrating all other kinds of data access components. It also can easily migrate legacy client-server application with hard-coded SQL queries into clouds using web services, DataSnap, and RAD server. It is done automatically by mapping all the data objects and extracting the data layer to an external web service. The Delphi Parser quickly scans, analyzes, and rewrites millions of lines of code within minutes and produce a new code with no man-made bugs. The Delphi Parser-Automatic migration process reduces 90% of the workload, saves time, and downsizes migration cost. The Delphi Parser-Automatic migration tool is built to serve top industry enterprises, governments, and defense forces. It is fully customizable, editable scripting tool like BD to FireDuck and VCL to UniGUI. It is 100% pure Delphi code. It is built with an open framework with developers' full kit and wizard source code for total migration. And magically, it does the dirty hard work of rewriting code that no team of experts can do. In this slide, you can see a real-life screenshot of the Delphi Parser-Automatic migration wizard in action. This is taken almost 2 years ago by one of our leading customers migrating its ERP Delphi system. The screenshot was taken while running a full scan using the free Assessment and Evaluation edition of the Delphi Parser with a pre-built migration script of BD to FireDuck. The picture speaks for itself, as the numbers don't lie, even though it is an old edition of the Delphi Parser migration wizard. This is a typical view of a legacy software system, with over 5 million lines of code with 50,000 data objects in almost 8,000 files. This produces a new code with more than 50,000 refactored lines of code. This process took about 24 hours to finish. Can you estimate how much time and effort is saved by running the automatic process? If we take a closer look in the process itself, you can see that the Delphi Parser runs through several sections. First, it runs through the parameters, variables within functions and procedures. Then it replaces local variables. After that, it goes looking for global variables. Then object reference code, where it's the main issue of migrating code. Then replaces class declaration, and by the end replaces the object models in the DFM. The last phase is fixing environmental code and adding and removing users clause. Each and every section and command within the section itself can be customized and refined and redefined and remove or even add or manipulate it in this kind of way, using the script and the development full kit to fully customize the process to the benefit of the migration process itself. Let's take a look at the Delphi Parser's artificial intelligence. First, it's a multi-step process. It performs a preliminary code scanning and analysis on load. It maps all objects, links between DFMs and parse objects. It links between data-aware objects and database scheme. It provides a quick scan before running a full process. It runs a migration process based on a pre-designed script. It's a fully customized migration process. It performs a smart find and replace process aware of syntax like with. It modifies changes on a new copy. It's a fully automated migration process. It crawls deep inside the code, running across the whole code, trying to understand what to migrate with no exceptions. The Delphi Parser works in an agile way. The automatic refactoring process includes short cycles of planning, scanning, refactoring, compiling and testing in an agile development style. The conversion of millions of lines of code usually takes few hours, but you can run it overnight and get a fresh copy of the new migrated code in the morning and review it within the morning coffee. The resulting product is a new copy of the code where you can easily review the differences between before and after using a standard text comparison tool. The migration works in a separate environment without any interference to the ongoing development, using an undisturbed development process. Changes and corrections are easily obtained. With each and every new round of the automatic process, you can use the most current code released by the development team. This leaves you with a clear mind with no need to merge or branch the project's code. The agility of the automatic process gives you all the flexibility you need to make all the changes needed. The Delphi Parser technology is built on an open framework architecture. It is constructed in the form of layers, allowing developers an access to its functions and the ability to customize it and make any adjustments needed using the developer's full kit with the wizard's open source. The first two layers are the core-based technology of the Delphi Parser. The first layer is the language syntax layer, Delphi and C++ builder. The second layer is the core-based functionality of the Delphi Parser, mainly responsible for scanning, mapping, analyzing, linking, and performing the smart find and replace. The third layer is the components layer. It deals with the functionality of each component and its migration issues. The fourth layer is the rule-based engine. It contains the functions responsible for all the migration process, starting from a single migration process over a single file and ends with a complete cross-reference of a migration request throughout the entire project. The fifth layer is the Open Scripting Wizard command language. This layer enables the control of the migration process outside of the source code without having to recompile the Delphi Parser's code. This layer enables building a one-click scripting wizard for similar requests across many projects. The top level is the application level, where you can write your own customized migration process, tools and wizards. The Delphi Parser's migration script is a human-readable text-based scripting language. The script can be easily editable using a plain notepad. It consists of the different migration process sections and commands to be performed while the process is on the run. The core foundation of the Delphi Parser is based on understanding that there is a compatibility between the millions of lines of code that exist within the organization, and there is common interface and basic compatibility between different projects in a written code. The similarity between the code across different customers is the core foundation on which the Delphi Parser is built on. Delphi Parser is fully customizable and adaptable to any given forms of writing, whether in the same project or for different customers. Okay, that's for the key features. Let's sum it up. The Delphi Parser key features are, first and foremost, it's an automatic process. It's an ultra-fast solution. You can reduce most of the hard work and the workload, time and effort, cost by using the automatic migration tool. It's a machine learning robot. You can customize it and tell it what to do. It's a safe environment. You don't have to fear of getting anything harmed. It's an isolated environment. No need to branch or merge or get lost. There's no hard work by using the automatic migration tool, all done by himself. It's an agile style solution, quick process. You can define and run it and refine it again and again and again until perfection. It's a flexible solution. You can make changes, go back and forth as much as you like. It's easy to plan. Again, it's all done automatically, quick results. You can do it. No hard feelings running the parser over and over. You can do it yourself. There's no need to hire a special team force. You can use your own experts, your own Delphi developers. They even enrich the knowledge and from what we've learned and what we've worked with the teams, they really like using the Delphi Parser. We've taken a complex situation, a complex process, an old code, and made it simple. And we successfully bridge the gap of technology by using the automatic parser. One of the benefits of this process is empowering the employees. You actually upgrade them to use new technology and make them much stronger and feel safe in their workspace, giving them a lot of time to still work in Delphi and continue on developing and maintain the system. And of course, by migrating your legacy code, you're working on a new technology, you improve productivity, the application runs faster and better, and you have happier customers, of course. And as said before, it's a fully customized solution where you can easily migrate your legacy code and make it a legend once again. Okay, that's for this part of the session. If you want to watch the automatic migration tool in action on your own legacy code, just download the free assessment and evaluation edition. You can run it on your own machine and see it for your own eyes. And that's for this part. Our second part is migrating legacy system. We're gonna see an overview of what's been done in the past 20 years up until now and why we're here, actually. Well, those were the days. Do you remember the good old days back in the 90s where the Delphi rules the world? Well, if you're over 40, used to be a geek, bold as I am, and made a lot of money, you probably do. We had so much fun back then, up there on the Olympus, eating and drinking with the gods, looking down on earth, making fun of all the other developers, trying to do stuff with Java, Visual Basic, MFC, Visual C++, going nowhere, doing nothing at all. But that was long ago, as most Delphi developers working today, nowadays, working hard, trying to keep their heads above the ground, while the new generation of developers are dancing on clouds with mobile apps while playing with Pythons. So, who is to blame for this? Borland? Sure. Well, Microsoft started it. They invented the Windows. For people who don't know, or don't understand what we're doing here, for them, Borland, it's something unknown. to the human. Oh my God, Borland gave us the BDE. For the non-Delphi ear, it sounds like some kind of virus. Well, it was fun at that time. But seriously, there's no one to blame except the time itself or the gods of technology himself. Let's take an overview of the Borland database engine, the holy grail of technology back then. Well, the almighty BDE made it all possible. Back then, in the dark ages, before the time of Windows, there was the DOS. The BDE and Delphi, together with Oracle and other databases, made it all happen. With the BDE on Delphi, you can build database application on Windows 95. It was really a shock. It was very easy to run client-server application with few click of a buttons. Easy upgrade from DOS and Turbo Pascal. I was amazed. I was working on Turbo Pascal back in 95, just started my way, and then boom, Windows on Delphi. Delphi 2 was a real revolution. It was easy to connect to the internet. The internet just was born, just got to life, and quickly, with few clicks of a button, one component, and there you go, you have the internet on your desktop within the application. It was very easy to access the internet protocols. I myself built an SMTP protocol, a whole email server back then for one of the largest ISPs there from scratch. Even reporting was very easy using Delphi and BDE and Oracle and Quick Report. And Y2K, of course, how can we forget the good old Y2K? It was Y2K compliant, no worries. Nothing much to say but the ultimate technology with no competitors. So long ago, so long, Windows XP, and thank you for all those bugs. I was amazed to realize that Windows XP was released in 2001 after some kind of weird version between 95, then came 98, and came 98 Service Packs and ME, and we all worked on Windows NT. Then came Windows XP and made the best, if not ever, best operating system ever made. It took some time with Service Pack 2 and 3 to make it to perfection. Just like Delphi 7, the Borland Delphi 7 was the holy grail of development tools. I have still many friends, and even I did something on Delphi 7 in the past year. Still many of them working on Delphi 7, on XP, having the time of their lives, unwilling to move on. Although in 2014, Microsoft announced the end of life of Windows XP, it's still running and heavily in use. Well, Delphi rules the world, still rules the world. What was 20 years ago, still running. That's the hard news. nobody is going nowhere except moving forward on to Embarcadero's Delphi 10.2, Tokyo, and furthermore. Almost 90% of the industry, the heavy industry, working with Delphi and C++ Builder. I have no friends or colleagues working on legacy systems on Visual C++ or Visual Basic or Java. Java 1.1 was 20 years ago, and they said they're never gonna upgrade it. Now Java is somewhere else. With C#, they're trying to look better and more like Delphi. What we've done 20 years ago, they are very happy to do today. Let's have a look where Delphi is installed and running these days. First and foremost, banks and finance institutions, telecom and internet industries and media, retail and commerce, all those giants 20 years ago, running heavily with Delphi. Defense and armed forces who had the privilege to work and still work with them. Water and energy, water suppliers, water companies, water institution, government institution, and energy, oil, gas, one of the biggest and largest gas company working with Delphi, having millions of lines of code. Governmental institution, very much into it. If they did the translation, the migration 20 years ago from DOS to Windows was with Delphi. Transportation, railways, bus systems, those command and control systems are working with Delphi. Service providers, all other service providers, you can imagine, we need an ERP system to manage the tons of data. Works with Delphi. And how we can forget healthcare and life support organization, hospitals running on Delphi. So, as we said, Embarcadero's RAD Studio 10.2 Tokyo is the future. It is the future for most of the legacy Delphi application. I have so many calls, so many emails from so many companies trying to migrate out of Delphi, saying they have no interest in working with Delphi, although those systems are running heavily on Delphi, using plenty of developers that trying to do something out of Delphi and still cannot do that. Migration out of Delphi, sadly, is impossible. Otherwise, I would have invented a migration process out of Delphi. But even though my loyalty to one of the best software development tools, who I personally love, and sadly I turn them back and tell them, if you want to migrate, if you want to exist in the near future, and most likely in the next 2 decades, you have to migrate to any kind of platform, doing whatever you want, but you will have to use Delphi. And luckily, Embarcadero's 10.2 Tokyo is the most updated, best environment. You can take your heads above the water, run on clouds, play with apps and Pythons, develop IoTs, technologies, application on mobile, on tablets, on phones, on watches, play with OS 6, play with Windows 10, play with Androids, play with Linux nowadays, do whatever you like. Develop JSON protocols, develop anything you ever wanted using the best ever made IDE is Embarcadero's Delphi 10.2. Well, it's very nice to know that, but let's get real. This is our own universe, and most likely will be in the next decade, while all the industry try to find a way out to join the party, to join the next generation. Still we have huge legacy systems. This is our solar system. We're running around legacy systems. It's getting bigger and bigger and unstable, trying not to become red giants, surrounding us with hardware and network. Several, from many decades ago, hardwares and networks, new and old technology, legacy operating system with new ones, plenty of user interface, database from many types and kinds, reporting technologies, peripheral application running around, web services, and big and small, all surrounding one giant sun, which is the legacy system. Overcoming this legacy system might need to reinvent it all over again, like we did 20 years ago when we made the leap from DOS to Windows. Clearly, there's a long road ahead. We might need to cross some bridges and may require additional help. But it truly was the effort. Let's take a deeper look into the legacy system, what it consists of. First, this is our Legacy Workspace. It consists with hardware, software, storage and media, networks, operating systems, database and servers, desktops, and web user interfaces. Our legacy software itself consists of one giant centric monster application with millions of lines of code. This is our red giant. Surrounding it, there are around 10 plus medium big size satellite applications. Surrounding them, there are about 100 or more small size service application and report application, altogether with about 1,000 or more users, form and database tables, a variety of technologies, old and new, a complete mess, with among us untouchable prehistoric code that no developer has the courage to deal with. As for the legacy development team, they are skilled, untouchable veterans developers, most likely from day one since the Delphi development has begun. Sadly, they're stuck in the Stone Age with old technology, doing what they know to do best. Their lack of knowledge in modern technology, although I believe Delphi developers want to know new technology, and given the option, they will. They keep maintaining old code Everybody fears of code crash, the developers themselves, as well as the managers and the IT managers above them. The legacy environment consists of prehistoric databases like Paradox, DBase, and DB2, Access, old version of Interbase and Firebird, and Sybase legacy. Obsolete technologies, ancient data access like BDE, no Unicode support, no 64-bit support, insufficient support with unclustered databases, no scalability, no redundancy, huge multiply databases, one on top of each other, one is backing the other, overloaded database systems, database servers, with poor maintenance. Legacy systems' main issues are supporting co-organization functions with critical missions. The constant fear of system meltdown and code crash. The increasing cost to maintain system support, and engaging in disaster recovery plan instead of searching for a cure. They are unable to set up a reliable service due to systems failure, and they have no future development due to no interoperability support with new technology. In this part, we're going to see how modernization project made easy using the Delphi Parser. Running an automatic modernization project is very easy and straightforward. We minimize risk by using automatic modernization process. It's an undisturbed process. We don't need to hire anyone. We have a clearly estimated budget as we begin. It's a sterile environment in order not to interfere with ongoing development. It's quick and automatically, no hard work. It's easy to plan and manage. There are no learning curves because the automatic migration is done. The migration is done automatically, so there's no fear of developers try to manipulate the code in various ways, and by that understanding and learning through the development. There's no loose ends. The parser goes through all the code and finds all the code needed to be migrated with no exceptions. It's a clean process. There's one of the major most important things, no one will ever feel a thing. It will be a side project. No one will need to know what's going in the other room. Building a modernization team force is quite easy. You should take your own existing team, your own existing development team, at least the best of them. You don't need to hire any special developers. All is taken care of. There's no hard work, as we said, mostly automated. They will love doing it. It's a flexible process. You can go back and forth as you like, as needed. You can pause it and resume as requires. It's an invisible process. As we said, it goes aside with no interfering to current process. Okay, development, business. It's easily maintaining security. This is one of the major benefits from automatic process. By doing it automatically, you're keeping same user interface. So actually customers won't even know what happened. It just will run better. Keeping the same business logic. Once again, it's all done automatically. No man-made bugs, no interfering. While doing the migration process, you'll be focusing on integration and test. The hard work, the refactoring code work will be done automatically. You might need to invest some time in manual compiling and manual fixing, but we estimate that 95, even to 99% of the migration work will be done automatically. It leaves no gaps, no hiccups, no embarrassing mishaps. You won't know that anyone was there because nobody will be there inside your code. And as we said before, it empowers the existing team. And at the end of the process, you'll make your legacy a legend once again. So, planning, here's a quick look on how you should plan your automatic migration project. First, you can kickstart the modernization process today. All you need to do is download the free edition of the Delphi Parser assessment wizard and let it run on your legacy code. You should assess your needs, get a realistic view on your code base. Make a wish list of your requirements. Design your migration solution. We can help you there. Customize your migration process to fully fit your needs. Estimate the cost and time to market. The main part is building your automatic migration solution. Integrating and test AGILE style. You won't believe how fast your process runs until you give it a go. By the end, delivering is easy. Okay, before we go further to Q&A, here's a quick case study of our leading customer. Our case study is about IQMS ERP solution. It's an American company based in California who contacted us 2 years ago. They're providing ERP solutions for ERP software solutions for manufacturers around the world. The famous slide is theirs. You can see about 5 million lines of code with plenty of files and data objects and lines to be fixed. IQMS codebase is a typical legacy Delphi application with over 20 years, about 5 million lines of code, traditional desktop client server application built on BDE, plenty of unmanaged code, slowly and heavy runtime application that once was a legend and about to become once again. By using the Delphi Parser IQMS managed to reach the following goals. First and foremost, improving database connectivity, replacing BD with FireDuck, optimizing database queries, transfer client-server architecture to cloud-based architecture, enable 64 bits and Unicode support, improving performance, upgrading development environment to RAD Studio 10.1 Berlin, perform major code cleanup, remove unused uses, units, and references using our analyzer and remove uses tool, enables support for Windows 7 and beyond. They're also improving the user interface by refactoring the same Delphi codebase. They replace the desktop client-server application to web-based application. This is done by converting all the traditional VCL objects to web-like using UniGUI. While they maintain the same look and feel. By using the Delphi Parser, they're also improving their business. They're maintaining leadership as a US worldwide ERP provider, support latest technology, enabling interoperability, increasing sales, reduce maintenance, and have a happier customers. That's about it. We'll be going to Q&A. Thank you for listening. You're welcome to contact me directly via this email. You're welcome to download our free evaluation edition of the Delphi Parser-Automatic migration tool and make your legacy system a legend once again.